Welcome back to more Rise of Industry. My name is Tobal. So we are rolling in, not too much money. We're a little bit above the broke mark. We are trying to pay back the starting loan that we get when you start the game. So 10 million, we're down to about 8.5 left. And I think it's about time we provide the citizens of Shepherdsville with the chicken they so desperately desire. We did research both the wheat field and we have livestock unlocked. So we are able to make chickens at the livestock farm. I think up here somewhere is probably going to be the best spot. So we're going to need both chickens, of course. We're also going to need the production for wheat as well. Now, unfortunately, you know how you can double up your harvesters? You can add 2 additional harvesters through technology, 2 land harvesters. You can kind of do the same at farms, but it's orchard, fields, and plantations, and then livestock fields are actually through the crop technology. So that's actually a lot of technology we'd have to research and spend time on. I think, technology-wise, I want to keep focusing on the goal that the town requires to upgrade here, which is going to be wall panels. We could buy it out, but I think, why not? We're not doing much else. We're waiting for technology to finish, or we're waiting for our money to go up. Let's start spending some of our technology money on the carpentry skill of wall panels. It's going to take 1.8 million, and at our current rate, it would take, let's see, 540 days. If we upped it, it would take 216 days. So last couple of months, we have been making a pretty decent profit. I think I'm going to go ahead and continue that. Now, the one last thing I wanted to do, I keep hitting escape thinking it's going to close this. We are making a bunch of oil, and we need to start sending it back into town again. Now, the problem, I think, is going to be a bit of a road mess here. So I'm going to make a kind of a snap into the road. I'm going to remove this connector road, and that's hopefully going to free up this intersection traffic. There's a lot of traffic that stops here because both of the sand collector kind of interference, and then if we had our warehouse here, that would be causing all sorts of trouble. So let's go ahead. And again, I haven't used a lot of the truck depots, but what we saw, it looked like, was something like we send this oil over to warehouse number 4. Yeah, so warehouse number 4. What you'll start seeing is that when the trucks come out, they're the trucks with 2 oil. So you get that once you have the truck depot. Now, I don't know if you need like 1 truck depot for everything or if it has to be in range. It would make sense to be in range. Now, the weird part is, I think we tried this out last episode, and they sent the oil from here to here, and then from here to this depot, and then into the warehouse, which was just a weird conflux of events. But now, though, it looks like they're pulling directly from the route we want them to go. So I'm going to stop this request thing. I don't really know how it works any hoots. So they're going to start bringing this oil. And next up, I want to say choose a destination. We're going to set that oil to be sent into Shepherdsville. Let's go into Shepherdsville Hardware Store. Cool. And we'll also tell them that we want basically a maximum of 10 stored at this location. We'll wait to sell off the rest of it as, to keep the demand really high. So if we go back to our production overview, let's put this on 12 months, and you'll see that we're pretty much making money in everything, even wood production, surprisingly. This is a very long look, by the way. But over the last 12 months, we are, of course, losing money in oil because that's not been going anywhere. It's just been wasting away. So this should hopefully raise our oil profits. If we check out Tier 1, we're making a crap ton of money. From how much it costs us to make all this stuff, we are making a just absolute bank. And remember, bricks are a little bit behind because I didn't remember to choose to send the bricks out to the actual city. So that's, oh, wait a minute. Is it broken again? Oh my gosh, did I break it again somehow? Okay, well that's fine. This is fine. Maybe I didn't save it after a certain point. Anywho, that's awkward. Let's go ahead and change this over to sending bricks into Shepherdsville. Again, a maximum of probably 10. That way we sell them at a controlled rate. And eventually that should, let's see, they want 11 per 15 days. I guess then we'll just say, why not have a maximum of 11? There we go. So they'll sell the full amount every cycle. I hope that doesn't change demand too much. All right. So onward and upward, we're going to start looking into animal production. Now, we're at 1.6 million. We might have enough money to do this. It's going to cost, for farms, it's going to cost 350 per farm. We're also going to need a crop farm, and we're going to need water gathering. Let's go ahead and put the water siphon down first. Get that out of the way. And we'll smack down our gatherers here. I think I'm going to give it an extra gather because we're probably going to be going through a ton of water. So all of... There we go. So we're going to have a road. Basically, all the harvesters bring their goods to the oil, or sorry, the water siphon area where it filters it, and then we send it on its merry way. So somewhere over here, along this kind of long, tall stretch, and maybe even on this side too, we're going to have our massive amount of farms. So we're at 988K. I think I'm going to have to take another loan out. And what I could do with this loan is focus on paying back the existing loan we have to do right now, the starter loan. We could pay down that starter loan and have enough money to continue expanding into the chicken industry, the poultry industry, if you will. So let's take out a $15 million loan. Yeah, we'll do it from our favorite town of Shepherdsville here. 15 million, 10%. We'll extend this on to about 72 months. That is 15 million. 244 a month. We're going to have to cut back on our R&D cost a bit until we get the money coming back in. And 17.5 interest. Right. Taking this, paying off the starter loan, we've got 7.95 million to mess with. So let's go ahead and start using some of that. Let's do... I got to get the spacing right. I think this is about okay on this road here because we're going to have to think about it. We need a bit of room to not only get our first 3 harvesters in, right, our first 3 items, so 3 fields in this case. We also need to have room for the inevitable expansion down the road. Can we fit you, like, tall, or do we have to fit you like this? I think we have to fit you like that. Oh, come back. You fit directly behind it? You do. Okay. So we'll set the farms in a T pattern like so. And I'll do across the street, we'll put a livestock farm down. Doesn't have to be exactly, you know, even or anything like that, but just for funsies, we'll do it. Okay. And I think you've got enough room to go behind and then also to the side. That way, once we get the technology to put down more chicken fields, we can expand these to 5 here and 5 here. Right, so that is the first batch of goods. I think I want to put... Let's put a road... We want to put it in the middle of this so that we kind of reduce the amount of traffic flow. That might not be a bad idea. Let's do it about there. Actually, hang on. Let's kind of tuck it up right against the main... Let's tuck it up as close as we can to the farms here. All right, there we go. So the road is right up against our livestock farm, and then I can keep putting down more farms and more of these types of things. We need a space of about 5. So then right about here. And then we put down farm, 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 or field, I guess, for the animal. All right, and we'll put down the crops as well. I will give it, I think it needs a bit more space, or are we even here? Oh, I ruined everything. Hang on. This is why I can't have nice things. I always get everything messed up. We are about like one gap away from the main road. So, just to have everything nice and pretty, we will undo it and then put the fields back down. Let's go over to crop farm. We'll put the crops down too. I think this should all fit next to each other. Yeah, nice and cozy. Perfection. Perfection realized. There we go. Let's connect in the roads. Now, this is quite a bit of, I guess, a kickoff. You know, we're making quite a bit of... Hello? There we go. Making quite a bit of goods here. So, we are going to have water coming into, I guess, a warehouse here somewhere. The water then getting delivered to the farms and to the livestock farms as well. In fact, that's so much water, I think I will go ahead and put down the 5th and final harvester. You are the strongest harvester. There we go. We'll put down you and connect you in as well. So all of the water will be delivered to a warehouse. The water from the warehouse will be picked up by all of the appropriate farms. Now, the wheat should be going directly to the farms. Probably, right? You know what? Honestly, I probably have more wheat than I need. I could possibly put down a chicken farm, but we'll wait until we know what the balance is. So at least let's set down the warehouse about, let's see, in and out. Let's put it about here, I think would be fine. And we'll wrap a road around the entire building here. So all the water can kind of come from this angle. And then the other trucks can come in from here, and then everyone goes back out. All right? That works for me. In fact, just to make it a little bit more separate. That looks horrible. That's okay. I'll live with it until we can get our one-way road traffic fixed. let's unpause. Let's see what the warehouse did in terms of self-aligning here. So yeah, it's got the water being delivered to it, right? It's got the wheat being delivered to it, the eggs, and the chicken meat. And then outgoing is going to be water and yeah, cool. This is exactly what I wanted. So everything is already immediately self-designed. Let's extend the road down to the main freeway here. I kind of wish you could have a bit more logistical power and do something like freeways, you know, a little bit higher throughput like you can in City Skylines. But of course, City Skylines is very much a transportation focused and you know, growth focused kind of game. And this Rise of Industry is very much focused on supply and demand and very less so on logistics. And I do, you know, like I said last time, I am pretty thankful that it does a lot of the real complex thinking for you in terms of the warehouse. So I would say a couple folks have asked, like, what are we actually calling it? And I think it's kind of I would say like a little more casual entry into city or into business management. But that's not a bad thing, I would say. It's not too shabby to get into. Right. Let's speed things up and see what our production is like. Let me press tab a couple times and then alt to see where we're at with production here. Why are you grumpy? You don't have enough water yet. That's fine. We'll be producing water in droves here. We have a production hang up at the warehouse is full of what? Water, probably? You're basically full of water. Okay. Slot capacity is at 74. Interesting. Buildings discounted. Automobile assembly mega factory. Well, yeah, we're not going to be able to do that for a hot minute at all. R&D alert. We have researched copper tubing. Oh yeah, that was the other part of wall panels. I completely forgot about poor rubber tubing. Does anyone need rubber tubing? Oh, no one needs rubber tubing. Well, that's sad. We're going to have to take over this copper mine at some point too, because we're going to need our own supply of copper to manufacture these wall panels at some point. Let's see, land auction, everything. Permits cost a additional 50%. Is it everywhere? It says a settlement, but it doesn't say any specific settlement. So all settlements are above 50%. Oof, that's rough. What are we looking at for water? I think as soon as water is coming in, it's getting pulled out to be delivered to the farms as needed. You've already got a surplus of 6. Now, apparently we're a little bit behind on getting water over to the farms themselves. These should be the farms going to get the water this time, though. I hope. I think. Yeah, there we go. All right. So all the farms are producing what we need them to produce. We have a full storage over here. I guess we could take down one water siphon if we so chose, or we can put more brickworks here. Although I think the magic number for tier 1 items seems to be 4. 4 of the tier 1 items. And that is that you're able to meet the demand of the city without going overboard. So I guess we could turn off 1. Is that possible? Or maybe it's just not evened out yet. 32 stored here, 31 stored here, 31. So I'm guessing they're all pretty much even. They're using 1 water every 15 days. So that's 4 water every 15 days. You're producing 3 water every 10 days. So I'm guessing somewhere along the line that should even out, but I'm not too worried about it. We are getting rid of the bricks. And I think each slot has a storage capacity of 74, not total, right? Because we're at 13 here, we're at 74, and it says slot capacity 74. So each slot, each item can be stored up to 74 times. Is there anything else we could use water for? We could go into the recipe book. I think I could just shift on water. Oh god, everything. Everything in the history of everything could use water. I mean, we could put down a farm over here, maybe. Do you guys just need basic wheat at all? Fish, cocoa, potatoes. Did we ever learn potatoes? Potatoes? Boil them, mash them, stick them in Shepherdsville? That could be one way to get rid of our excess water. Just put down a random farm right between our 2 polluted areas of doom here. Let's check out our budget. So a lot of stuff here is already reselected after the game was relaunched. So let me undo some things here. Now it's not going to look a little ugly because we took a massive loan out. But overall, we're making about 300K a month. Now that might change, of course, because we're both we're paying a much higher monthly loan for R&D. We're paying the loan back and we're spending a lot of money on R&D. Wow, we're actually making some money. That's really surprising. With the additional cost of the R&D and the monthly loan increase, we're still managing to turn a profit, which is pretty impressive overall, I would say. Your crop farm is full. What are you full of? Water, probably? Yeah, so you're pretty much full of water. Now, we could expand our delicious soup production. What is this? You want 24 wheat to Curtin. Where's Curtin at? All the way down here to the south. Yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon, my friend. Even though you're relatively close, we don't have that kind of time for you right now. Now, so in the town of Effie is getting Zuppa, right? We're getting the Zuppa Toscana delivered straight to Effie's door, right? Groceries, 4 stored, 11 per 15 days. We're making about 2 per 15 days, I think. So we could be putting down quite a bit more preservation factors, and I think that might not be a bad idea. I don't like the positioning, though. I could have done a bit better on the positioning, I'm sure. Maybe, like, look at that. All of this open space up here. Man, Effie has a huge amount of space. Look at this. We could make a vegetable farm empire in the middle of nowhere. Do you think I should move this, by the way? It's very polluted. We could have a straight line production chain, too. We could have water here going to a central warehouse, and then maybe the road goes perpendicular, and then we're producing soup on one side, and then all of our farms are out on this side. And we would have a bit longer of a journey to come into town, but we might be overall a little bit better. Hang on, actually, I just had a brain fart. I bet I can ship all of this stuff directly to town. Why am I transporting it to yet another warehouse? I should be able to transport all of this directly into the Shepherdsville hardware store. I should, and I can. Sure enough. Okay, that was a bit of a mess up on my part. We were testing the truck depots and how they work, but yeah, we have plenty of options there, and I think I need to put this back to... No, it's already at 10. So we should be able to fill up the oil here at Shepherdsville. This warehouse is empty for some reason. How come that never worked? Were we out of oil, maybe? I don't think so. Or are we just not producing as much as they're taking in? We're producing 4 every 10 days. Now you're consuming 11 every 15 days. So we could put down yet another oil drill, and I think I'm going to do that. We'll add a harvester here. Let's start producing and getting the rest of the oil in here. We'll start delivering that into this warehouse, and then this warehouse will send everything out on its very, very long route, which is... Wait a minute. Why are you not using the trucks? I'm so confused. So do we actually have to do this warehouse-to-warehouse thing? You can't put... My mind is boggled right now. We've got this truck depot, because this only works between depots then. Is that the case? Because these are the trucks in theory that are going directly back to, or directly into town from warehouse number 3. And they're only carrying 1 oil per truck. Well, shoot. I thought that would make sense in my head. Let's change this back over to warehouse number 4, I guess, which is this one here. Right? And so maximum amount stored is unlimited. So pretty much as soon as we get oil, that should be getting transferred. Although, are we waiting until... Maybe I've got the wrong thing selected. Hang on. Do I need to have... Hold product until transport capacity is full. See, now we're back to using single capacity trucks. What is happening? Did I screw this up by not requesting transport of a product? Hold product. Yeah, I don't know. Let's maybe I need to turn all this off for a second and see. Let this all reset, because now I'm just super confused. Okay, there were two pieces of oil, right? 2 units of oil delivered. Then we got 5 units of oil. Okay. Nothing's happening on this end. We have a bunch of ghost trucks here, which I'm guessing is all for me messing around with the settings. So this should be the route. We're trying to pull oil in. I just honestly have no idea. Okay, well, that's there. Let's go ahead and change the destination again. Oil heading to warehouse number 4. So now when we choose it, do you take 2 at a time? You do take 2 at a time. Hold product until send as soon as it's ready. Which one are we on right now? Hold product until it's full, or send it whenever it's ready. I don't actually even know what icon is which. I think we should be at hold product until capacity is full. But now we're sending one. Okay, so let's click the button, I guess, and we'll do a bit of a test. One day this is going to make sense to me, but today is not that day. Okay, so you just snuck out of here with 2 oil. Okay, so that had to be turned on. Then maybe that's the problem. Maybe I still don't have to do what I'm trying to do now and deliver it to the warehouse. I just have to choose commercial hardware store and make sure this is checked so that we're saying hold the goods until we're full. So we have 1 oil in our building, our warehouse, right? So as soon as we get 1 more oil, I'm pretty sure it's going to trigger and then send the truck into town. There's 1, there's the truck. Holy cow, all right. That made me feel a little bit better. So you're a little bit slower, but this is what we should be doing. So yeah, we don't actually need these 2 depots at all, from what I'm understanding here. Let's go ahead and get rid of everything anyways. We'll send it all into Shepherdsville. We will make sure that it's 10 at a time. We'll turn this off. Okay. Right, so back to the discussion about Effie. I got distracted by a pop-up, and this is what happened. So Effie, I think what I might do between episodes here, we still have money left over from our fancy loan that I just took. Why don't I try... I could get a little money back by destroying the sand and brick smelter here. Now, there's nothing that says Effie's not going to need that soon, but why not get a little bit of money back? I can also relocate the water pump and the vegetable farm into this, maybe this open section here. Water goes right into a warehouse, right? The soup production is on one end of a road. The farm production is off to this end. So that way we separate production, and all the trucks are going in an independent direction and not trying to overlap each other. And then what we'll do is I'll put another truck depot down next to the warehouse, and then it should all be delivering its goods into town. I think that's what I might try. Because this is just getting very, clogged up, very polluted. And maybe we can focus on spreading out a bit. Effie actually has a lot of room to basically do a massive industry. If I lay it out right, that's the big thing, is I want to make sure I try to lay it out in a proper way. Tons of oil here that we could be sending to other cities as well. So I will do that between episodes. I will relocate the Effie soup production. Take care of that. Now, what else? How are we doing on our chicken farm? We have... We're basically barely keeping up with water. Everyone's got barely enough water to run their current output, which is kind of what I want. I want more like just-in-time delivery of water products. Oh, actually, you're coming to get whatever you need whenever you need it. So our surplus is here in the warehouse. We also do have our first shipment ready of eggs and chicken poultry. That's the same thing. Chicken meat, I mean. Let's do 9 per 15 days and 12 per 15 days. So we'll go ahead and say for the meat, we're going to send to the town. We're going to send about 8 maximum stored. And we're going to send out the eggs as well. I could just do it from the storage. I forget about that. Farmer's market, and we'll put you at about 11 per storage. There we go. That way, in theory, we're keeping it right at the cusp of production. We shouldn't be lowering down the demand or anything like that. Meanwhile, did we fix this problem here? So there's the warehouse. Our warehouse is almost empty. You know what? Let's just send all of it. Let's get rid of all the oil that's sitting in the building here. All the oil can just go. Take all the rest of the oil out, please. And then we're going to shut this warehouse down. Cool. Let's go ahead and disable this wood. Do I have to wait for this to be over with? With the trucks? Okay, the trucks still went into town, so that's fine. So that's being taken care of. We have 1 oil here, so as soon as this one comes out, there goes the truck. Right, so this is now operating as we wanted it to. Now here, I will change it back to about 10 maximum at the destination, right? So that should be balanced off. Everything else is nice and happy. What are we grumpy about over here? Do we not have enough wood? Oh, are we actually short on wood to our harvesters here? Maybe that's affecting our performance a bit. The wood is being delivered to the warehouse, then the trucks are coming from the warehouses or from the carpentry centers to get the wood they need, but it looks like we might be a bit behind. So I'm hoping that doesn't screw up their efficiency all that much. Welcome to the endless autosave, by the way. There we go. And even with all the expenditures that we have, we're still in the green month to month, it looks like. This month, or last month, we made 137K, which isn't a ton of money, but with the expected earnings we should be getting from chicken and from the eggs, that's going to bump up a little bit more this month as well. Now, we have to find out how much this is setting our carpentry behind. So if I go over to my production overview, we go into tier 1, and maybe I do, obviously there's our long-term growth, right? Last 12 months, we've got 1,500%. Holy crap. That's insane. Let's bring this down to a more manageable understanding. Last month, it's not giving me the values. We just didn't break even last month, did we? There's no way. It didn't calculate the values last month for some reason. Okay, fair enough. Well, we have no values to go off of. I would like a month-to-month kind of a thing, if that's possible. Right, so I think that's pretty good for now. I think what I'll do is, like I mentioned before, next between this episode and next, I will relocate the Effie soup production. What else can we get into here? I did talk a little bit about maybe opening a potato farm. If we do that research, that should be pretty short. How far away are we from getting... Oh, we're actually really close to getting wall panels done. Well, that's going to change up our entire production chain as well. We're going to need quite a bit of money because we're going to have to take over the copper mine. We're also going to have to set up new construction here at the brickworks, right? Because that's where it's going to be made at. Or is it going to be made at the carpentry shop? I don't actually know. Well, this one, yeah, this one's sitting on wood planks, but wood planks are going to soon go into these fancy new panels, right? Let's go to the recipe book. Panel? Not so much. Carpentry, center... wood barrels, wood planks. Well, now I'm just going crazy. What do we get this at? Carpentry, made at... I can't tell. But it's 54 days. I guess we'll find out. So that's going to be changing up things next episode as well. So I'll try to get the all the soup stuff figured out, and then we'll work on this this upcoming wood paneling. Now, this should send us into the first time we're making a tier 2 product. So I'm hoping that this is really going to help us out in terms of what we're making. And also, all of these other towns need bricks and they need wood wall panels to grow. So we can set up a central hub that is our first big distribution network. In fact, probably this warehouse here, we can use this as our takeoff point and start delivering to any of these towns that are on the network, right? I don't know. Let's see, we've got one town down here. This is connected to our area, right? This was the town of something or other that's covered by the icon. The town of Benbow. There's another town farther to the southwest. This isn't Curtin, this is Springvale. So Springvale is connected to everything else. It would be a really long trip for the trucks, though. So I'm not sure if that's going to help or hinder us. And then something else on this side, which might be separate from everything else. Yeah, we'd have to connect into Gwyn. Remember, we made most of the road. I wanted to make more road here, and then we'd have to actually to make the rest of the road, we'd have to buy a logistical permit for Gwyn. I don't know if that's worth it at this point, but we could still help those other towns to grow.